Hey, you're welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Sompon Global TV. My name is Vera Sompon, and today we are having the conversation children need both parents. And with me in studio is my colleague, trauma consultant, Batemona-Abeke, and we will be having this conversation. Please, wherever you are, share the link, invite someone, tag someone, and I'm very sure you're going to love this conversation today. Meanwhile, stay tuned as we come back. Welcome back to the Sompon Global TV. My name is Vera Sompon, and I'm having with me today my colleague Batemona-Abeke, and we are having the conversation. Children need both parents. Ma'am, tell us more about who you are. It's quite some time that we have not been here together. Tell us more about who you are, what you do, and why children need both parents. Thank you for joining the talk today.
Thank you so much, Vera. Thank you that our program is online again. For those that haven't met me, my name is Ellen Batemona-Abeke. I am a trauma consultant, social worker, and also a diversity trainer in working and living in Cologne, Germany. And I am the founder of Pamoja Africa. It's an organization that is counseling and training people of African descent and all other people in matters regarding the upbringing of children, taking care of affairs of African people living and working in Germany, and trying to be like mediators between the different groups of people that live and work in this country. And I am also representing Afro-Social Workers Forum, which is a forum that has been founded by Pamoja Africa and Sompon Social Services. And we are a group of social workers living and working in Germany, either employed or having their own institutions. And our work is to provide a space for African social workers to for supervision, to coach, to mentor each other, and to just discuss topics that are affecting our people and looking for amicable ways how we can transport this in the German society. So this is short about myself. And today we are having a very emotional topic, and the topic is about children needing both parents. It doesn't matter whether both parents are living together or when they are separated or divorced. Unless if one parent is not living because of one thing or the other, then there is no other excuse why children should not see both parents, unless there is a real problem that has been decided maybe by the court that one parent cannot see the children. We as professionals, we are here today to advise of the importance of children having contact and needing the emotional, the presence, and the company of both parents if need be. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, ma'am. You say there is need, and it is so important that the children have the presence or the support of both parents. I was having before now we had this conversation, and I was sharing with you some experiences that I've been going through. I'm seeing in the counseling center, and when I compare that, relate that to the German families that we also have we counsel, I realized that most often than not, the African families that we counsel have really more challenges with this. Usually, you will hear statements like, "You will not see this child again," or I'm going to keep this child from you. And then you will hear some men also say something like, you didn't come to my house with children, so therefore you can live without any children, because I met you, you were not with any child. But when I counsel the German family, you realize that even when they separate, it always amazes me to see that they live together like though they were still together, even though they are not together. Ma'am, can you tell us what happens that parents just decide to say, no, you will not see this child? And how does that affect the children psychologically or again mentally?
I don't want to push everything to culture, but I want to say that there is that feeling of possessing. I want to possess, it's my child. First of all, if the child has a father or a mother, it's wrong to say my child. Just say our child, because it has an emotional, it accommodates that other person. Always to say, you can say my house if it's your house alone, but if you always train to use the word we, there is the love that is being transmitted and making the other partner feel also important. So let's start there. We are talking about our child for the viewers. From today, if you talk of my child, unless really the father or the mother of this child is not known. You must not be living together with this partner for you to talk of our child, because you did not bring this child into the world alone. Unless if you did, today everything is possible. We are having people going somewhere and buying those things that make children and say, so they own the child. If that is not the case, please just start using the word we psychologically, because it will bring something. Now, the reason why what parents feel that they want to more or less punish the other one and deny the other one the right to see the child is because of the emotions. One feels so hurt, so disappointed, or so used, and they don't want to lose. The other reason why you don't even want to share this child is maybe because of too much love. You love this child according to you. Keeping the child alone is showing love. But today we are going to talk of the implications of you making this child stay without seeing the other partner. And the other one is what we say in German, Machtkampf. It's a fight. You just don't want to lose. You don't want to suck up. You don't want to show like you are losing. So it's called ego. So also ego, if we can call it this one openly, we make most parents also want to deny the other parents from seeing this child. So the children, at the end of the day, in a nutshell, the children are the one that suffers, and they do not even understand what's going on, and they are torn in between. Because if it's a child who has known that I have a mom or I have a dad, and all of a sudden the mom or dad is gone, there is something missing, and this child is going to suffer emotionally. Very important. It's going to suffer emotionally alone because of the separation. Whether you are fighting or not, the child is suffering, because most of the times when they are too young, they are not able, their brains are not so well developed. Now, talking from the trauma aspect, their brains are not so developed so that they can understand that mama or papa is moving elsewhere, and I will see this one. They always have, it's like the end of the road. I've really lost. I won't see my papa or my mama. And so, therefore, let's spare our children this agony. They don't need it, they don't deserve it. Another reason is they tend to sympathize with the partner that is not present if they know him or her. So you may see that most of the time the children are having mercy on the other partner. So this is going to make the partner who is living with the child, or the parent who is living with the child, not taken serious, not appreciated by the child, and therefore tries to buy the child. Let me use the word buying, because you are using maybe material things, money, presents, toys, electronics, so that you can win the soul or the emotions of this child. Also, this, we are saying it is not right. So please, if you are there, our viewers, just listen to this very well, because these children are going not to have it nice later. And if you are doing all this because you love your child, then know it from today you are doing a damage to your child. Unless if the parent is not alive, do not deny the child or don't use the child to punish the other partner. Thank you.
Let's stay on the damage, ma'am. Let's stay on the damage, especially on the children, because I see this a lot. I'm sorry, but I see this a lot also on the side of women, and it always bother me and my imagination. I just don't know, understand why, and I keep asking myself, why don't we get mature to the point of understanding how important the father could be for his son or for the daughter? I have a case in my hands that it went this far, so that the woman reported cases that were really not true. Unfortunately for her, I was called as a witness and as a social worker, and I gave my neutral perspective. I mean, so most of the time when they come to us, they think that you're going through. There's an echo behind. I don't know from where it's coming. Okay, I'm going to mute you and see. Okay, now it's much better. Most of the time, when you counsel the parents, and the mothers, you mentioned some very important points. You said the emotional aspect of it, the ego is in it, and the ego makes so much that the mother will say no to the father, or again the father can say no to the mother. I have seen so many cases. I've seen a case where the father really literally put cameras in his home to monitor his home when he was not around, so that he could use that in court against his wife, and effectively did, and he got the right of the children. So that the woman we are talking today is practically insane on the street because she is not having access to her children. And I keep asking, how do we work with parents and help them understand or to grow to maturity and understand the importance of both roles, no matter the situation? Ma'am,
I have to on myself.
It's good. Now it's good. Now it's good.
Mm-hmm. So the matter is so complex.
Mm-hmm.
We can talk of maturity, but I really want to remain on the part of lack of knowledge, that they don't know the damages they are causing to their children. And I want to talk of they are so emotionally bruised, they are wounded, that they are not able to see what the implication of their actions. So let me go on a case study that we had a case of a mother who was so hurt because of what she went through before she made up a decision that I want to leave this man. And or whatever she used to go through is what she was thinking, that if the children are with their dad, this is what is going to happen to them. So she had some tangible reasons because of her fears. I mean, because of her past experiences, what she went through, she was fearing that the daughters or the sons are going to go through. So what we did with this mom was just to offer her what we call in Germany Trennungstherapy, a separation therapy or counseling. So you coach her, you try to ask her some questions to find out how this man has been in the past, and try to make her know that if the child is having contact with the dad, it's going to be easier for her and also for the dad and for the children. Because she started reporting that the children are having issues in school, the children are fighting among themselves, the children are very sad most of the time, they are crying. The teachers are reporting that the children don't have concentration in school, and the teachers saying there is something happening, there's something that is not right with the children. So we have to tell them, mom, all these things are having negative connotation, negative impact on the children. And then she started seeing it. And then we asked her if we can have the contact of the partner, the father. And we heard a story also. It was also so much art, So we had to come in, negotiate, and even we all found accompanying those children, which is actually done by law, but I'm coming to this. And then at the end of the day, she saw it, and things started going differently. Now, what are we learning from this story? That you better know, first of all, there is a reason maybe that has made you separate from this man or from this lady, this mother. And so when you are separated, the problems don't just disappear overnight. So you have to not to have too much expectations from the partner that you separated with, if you ever live together or if you never agree to live together, whichever the way. So I think having this mindset, also accepting that it's something that happened that maybe made you not live with this person, things will be easier for both of you and for the children. And one thing that we always talk about it in our counseling is to put the children in the middle, to know that the children are in between both of you. They are very valuable from both of you, not only for the mother or for the father. Another thing is that the children are going through emotional stress, and this can even lead to trauma. This can have later consequences on the child. Sometimes because of loyalty, children are forced to say, I'm happy only being with papa, or I'm happy being only with mama, because they are children. They don't know what is good for them. So we as professionals, we are really telling you outside there that the children in both parents, and if one is amiss at one time of life, you are going to notice this, and sometimes you notice it when it's a bit too late. So it's good that this is handled at the very beginning. If you cannot talk to each other, you can't smell each other because of the gravity of your problem, you can get a counseling center. You can have some family friends who are very important to you, who you both respect, not somebody who is only respected and accepted by one person, so that they can guide you in this. Sometimes also mature family members can also come in this, but the danger with family members, they are usually biased and they act out of emotion. So that is it.
Wow. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So indirectly, you say it is so possible to as well separate and still put the children in focus, so that the children don't suffer our emotional damages or our emotional problems, because we are all going through the emotions. I mean, the father goes through his own emotions, the mother goes through, and children are going through. But in order for the children not to suffer that much, we have to jump out of our shadows, so that we can now see and put the children as priority and give the chance to both parents. And you say it's possible.
I say it's possible. I mean, I've seen it in my counseling life a lot. I can give an example of this couple that separated. It was an African man and a German mother, and they had two children. And what they did is, when they realized that they are not understanding each other, they had a meeting with their children. And the children were, I think one was about 7 and the other one was about 5. And they explained to them in a children language. And this is what they told me. They told their children that Papa and Mama, as you know, we are always quarreling. We don't hate each other, but we really don't understand each other. We have a lot of differences, and we have thought it's good we stay apart. Mama is going to live with you in the house that you know, so that you can have contact with your friends. And Daddy is going to look for another house somewhere, which is going to, you are going to know, and you are going to be visiting me regularly. Even you are going to have maybe a key, so that it feels like it is your home. And anytime you need to speak to Papa, you tell Mommy, and Mommy is going to call Papa, and you speak to me. And then the lady saying that, and then you even have an advantage. You'll be always spending more time with mama alone. And when you're with papa, you spend time with papa alone, and there'll be no mama and papa quarreling each other, So you transport this message nicely to the children. It is not a nice message. And please, I want to say, I'm not encouraging divorces or separations, but I'm just saying, if you have gone that far and you have tried through counseling and you see it's not working, instead of killing each other or fighting each other every time, it is children are better off when parents have separated than parents staying together and fighting. This I say with a lot of confidence. So if you come to this decision that this relationship cannot be rescued, please separate. And when you separate, you package the whole thing in a way that the children will not have fears that they are losing, so that the boys will not feel now that they are responsible for mother because daddy is not there alone. So that the children can know that in life, you must not always understand each other.
Nema, I have to hit here. I have to hit here. You
Yes.
say you made a mention a point that's so important, that the boys will not feel responsible over the mother that is now single. How does that come about? Why does a 10 years old, 12 years old, 13 years old boy, why does he have to take that responsibilities that he is now the father because his father is not in the house? Is that, what is the trauma behind that? Is there any traumatic effect, emotional effect that can happen that we don't even know about it now?
It depends on the way you are living before. And most of these things comes from us mothers. We always tell them you are now the man in the house. These are, you are the man in the house now, you do this. It's just simple, simple comments, simple proche here and there, but we don't know the implication. And also, if they go to their dad and the dad is like, "Are you taking care of your mom?" or things like this, it's wonderful. It's with good intentions, but it tends to abandon the other child. If it's a boy, he's going to take the responsibility down because this person is not there. So the boy is going to assume the responsibilities of the man in the house. And if it is a girl, she's going to assume the responsibilities of a mother or what the mother has been doing, in the house. So it's going to be careful about these things. And because children should be children and not partners of the partner who is not there. They should be.
It means you are saying that we should be careful with our words, because even unconsciously we can put so much responsibility over our sons, over our daughters, as a result of our separation.
Yes. Like I said, the simple ones that we talk, how we portray these things. And naturally, there is that fear that mommy is now cooking, mommy is working, mommy is driving me to school, driving me. So there is that mommy is abandoned, or daddy is abandoned because mommy is not around. So there is naturally that feeling that I need to top up, I need to come in here and replace. So our job as parents is to take these fears away and this responsibility. Say, you can help clean, you can wash the car, you can vacuum clean the house, but you are still a child,
And
So
now I have to come in there again. I'm sorry, I have to be coming in all the time. What are you saying? How can you say that? Now let's talk it about on the trauma perspective of it, because I know many parents who believe that their children are their physician room. How do they call that again? Lebensversicherung room. Insurance.
Life insurance.
And now you are saying that I should take the responsibility. I should make the child not feel that he has or she has responsibility over me. How do we reconcile this with our parents back home who felt and made us believe that the child is the insurance of the family? And now, remember, we are diasporas, those who are here in the diaspora, and they have transported this culture here.
Yes. And this is why most of our children are abandoned, because their German pores are not going through this. There's a lot of burdening, and when our children are not performing, we ask ourselves why, or we blame them, but we don't remember that we have contributed to this. So now let's go back to this. So we have a culture conflict here, because some of us, when we were growing up, we have been told that you are the pension of your parents, more or less. So some of us are getting many children. Some of us, because we know later on they will help us. This is what we believe our grandmothers used to do. So in this culture we find ourselves, it will not work, because the whole village is missing to start with. Remember we said in one of our talks that it takes a whole village to educate a child. Now, this village is not here with us in the diaspora, in Germany. So you alone and your children and your partner, you alone. Some of us don't have their mothers around, so we don't have grandmas for these children. Just know that Tobias in school has maybe a grandmother. So our children are already missing some important family members. We are living collectively, but we don't have the collective society around us. So now, when things like this happen, that there is this bad luck, that there's a separation, or one partner goes away, I think that the children, they naturally they try to cover up, and then sometimes we just abandon them, because we want them to, we are now alone, we are living alone. So when you come from school, do this and this. It's wonderful to train children to participate in their house. What I'm saying is, at the same time, let the children know they are children. Let them be children. At one time, you can say, you know what now, sweetheart, now you are my daughter. It's your time to spend your positive time with your mommy. So they will not be routining throughout, taking responsibility of us. And if you make your child know that this child has to be responsible of you, you are giving your powers as a parent. And this is not right. It's a weakness you shouldn't let your children know of. So, having said that, let's train our children, let them teach them to do every work in the house, but in a moderate way, not as a partner.
And knowing that they are still children.
Yes, because they need some certain things at a certain stage.
Yes.
And always, let's know that their brains are developing gradually. Even if they are big, even if they can cook for the whole family, even they can run errands, even if you can send them to the bank automat to get money and they just get that amount, some certain things is going to overwhelm them. Let's not overwhelm our children. Let them leave that space for them to think and also jump around like children, without carrying the whole burden of the whole village and the extended family even back home. That's what I'm trying to say in a nutshell. Now, let's come back to our point, that if parents are separating or quarreling, it burdens the children. When these children reach the age of adolescent and you have denied this child the contact with the children, with the other parent, what happens is, in adolescence, I want to say between 11, today children are getting adolescents from the age of 11. Between the age of 11 to 16, 17, they are still struggling. Who am I? Who do I look like? How is the other parent looking like? Is he alive? I want to see him. Do I look like him? Do I look like my grandma? Do I look like, and their hormones, the hormones are being just triggered, and so they are naturally, because of the hormones, they are naturally emotionally unstable. So if their identity, which is very important in the adolescence, if their identity is also shaky, then we are going to have children who may resort to something else to stabilize them. They may resort to drugs. They may resort to drinking. They may resort even to misusing sex at that tiny age, or just getting somebody who will just soothe them. They need a pacifier, a schnuller at that age. And if you are not well connected to your children at that time, this is here now we miss. And then you are completely disconnected. So this is why we say it's very important to avail the other partner to your children. If the partner is alive and is in a mental state, yeah, because even prisoners, people who have committed crime in prison, they have a right to see their children, or their children have a right to see their father or their mother, who the law, who the government knows is a criminal. But the fact that they are parents, this is provided. It's very important. Even those people that are having mental issues, they have the children are brought to them so that they can see them, of course, with somebody there. I mean, if it is so bad that they can harm the children, there is somebody who is going to accompany the children. So there is no in between. Even somebody who is drinking and taking drugs and doing all kind of things, these children have a right to see their father or their mother. So if the government can make these provisions, why shouldn't we, for no apparent reason, deprive the children of their basic need? Talk less of right, it's a basic need that they need for their good development. To be accomplished in life, they need to grow, seeing, interacting with their parents, if the possibility is there. Not because one partner is putting herself in between the children because of the annoyance or because of the emotional bruises that have been caused by the other partner. Let's just be over this. Let's just oversee this and just see our children are suffering and they need to be exposed to the other partner.
Wow, wow, wow. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining the conversation. We are having the talk on children needs both parents, and my colleague is a consultant, trauma consultant, and she is telling us the effect that when we deprive our children from the other partner, it could affect them also emotionally. If your comment, we are your comments as you're sending them. So send your comments and send your questions. Make sure you tag a friend. Remember that we are here because you are there. So I want to recognize the presence of Maggie Roy. I recognize the presence of Mesme Mwafo. I recognize the presence of Mary Decaro. Thank you for joining the talk today. And Mary Decaro says children belong to two people. That is the point. Children belong to two people. But our challenge today is that two people who once loved themselves now came with these children. And ma'am, I like the idea you said our, because I realized that most of the time when we use the word our, we, there is a kind of emotional attachment. There is a bond that is there. And when you see people who use our, they're conscious of using that word our. And the other people, when they use me or I, you also see, you sense a kind of individualism in them, consciously or unconsciously. And I feel that if they start having this individualistic attitude and such things happen, it may be harder for them to even be mature enough to get the other partner share in the life of the children. Do you think the aspect of me or me and myself and I or we our plays a role in maturity, especially in the case of upbringing children?
Yes, maybe we can say that children are not lipstick, so that you can say my lipstick or my shoes, you know. So just accommodate the other partner, and this egoism will not, it really says a lot. And I'm really, mother, sometimes you say, my daughter, my son, you don't mean, for you don't mean anything bad, but it distances the other person, and a child learns that I'm closer to my mom, I'm closer to my dad, my daughter. Everything is about my. Let's just relearn this. It's an awareness we are creating. I can't have a conversation without talking of awareness. Also here in this parenting, we need this awareness. If you talk of our child, our daughter, our son is graduating, we are welcoming you to the graduation ceremony. It makes also the other partner feel worth, because you are conscious of his or her presence. So these are just love. You pass on love without noticing, and the child feels like, well, I have two parents. So it's psychology. You win the heart of the other person. You fermented. You give
Pass across.
Yes, you pass across this kind of love to the child. So we are supposed to be mindful of our language also. Yes. Now, another point that I just thought that it's very important is, if you see that, because there could be problems, how can you work it out so that at the end of the day that you are fine, that he is fine, and the child is also fine? I talked of counseling therapy. There is a counseling that you go through to some counseling centers. It's called, actually, most of international counseling centers, also internationale Beratungsstellen, or you go to places like Sompon or Tupamoja, and you will get counseling, because the third party counseling you is not involved in this struggle, so he or she is able to reflect differently than you, because you are just blind because of the emotional wound that you have. So now you can make some steps. It's step by step. And let me tell you, I say sometimes there's a language that those days when Bin Laden was arrived, I used to say there is a language you can use and you can get Bin Laden out of the hiding cave. You can change the person's thinking with your ones. So you can even decide to, on your own, if you are the one who is left with the child, you can call the father of the children and say, you can have the children. I stay with the children every day. When would you want to have them? Because they need you and you need them. Even if you know the children need them, you can even say that you don't stay with the children every time. So you can also you can participate in their life. You can also go for football with them. You make it a we affair, because you created these children together. And if the person does not think or see that you are using the children for your mean reasons, the person is going to also participate, even if the bruises are still there. You say, let's work it out for our children. We met as adults. Now we brought these two human beings, or one human being in the world. Let's just take care of these souls so that they don't suffer because of our actions. That is the advice that I will give. And always know that separation leaves scars on the children that are going to have impact in their development. It can have psychological problems in school, in dealing with conflicts among friends. It can make them have a complex, infidelity complex, and they will just be bursting out because of these emotions at some unexpected places, to the teacher, to the children, to the mother, to the father, in the school compound, any little, because you have not trained them how to deal with conflicts. So it's gonna be felt. But if you try to be a gentle lady and gentleman, your children are going to emerge winners at the end of the day. Thank you.
Wow, thank you. Thank you so very much, ma'am. This is such a an eye-opening, like we said, awareness. I'm so glad that we are having this conversation because we see this happening every time we see the people come to the office. Just you see women come, men come, and they're like, "This is my child, and I am taking all responsibility of this child." And you sit there as a counselor, and you know how the future will be. That this child, even at the age of 18, will tell you, you were so mean. Did I tell you I didn't want to see my father, or did I tell you I didn't want to see my mother? And you'll be so shocked because what you think or you thought you were doing that was good, it comes back on you. And now, ma'am, I want to ask the question: how do we manage the situation with this child benefit? Because usually that's also one thing I hear when the parents separate. Then I start hearing he has to pay unterhalt, he has to pay child allowance, and I'm like, can't you let this thing go and just take care of your child? What is this with the child allowance after separation? So much so that even some of our men, I mean our African men, that we know that they say they are men because they provide for the family. Even at this point, they fail. What has gone wrong, ma'am? And how can we help, especially as social workers and Afro-social workers? Yeah.
So we have three kinds of benefits or allowances. We have, first of all, Kindergeld. This is children's money. Then we also have Unterhalt, which is the money a partner that is not there gives the children, or is by law supposed to give the child its maintenance costing. And then we also have, when you are a single dad or a single mom and you are getting money from the state, you are given this meambedaf, you are given this allowance because you are raising the child alone. So all this money is supposed to go actually in helping the children. So Kindergeld you get, or children money you get, whether you are, when you have the right papers and you are either a single mom or single dad, or you are living together with your children. The money is meant for children, to buy them toys, to take them to film, kino. It's not supposed to be saved to build houses in African countries. No, this money is meant to be used here in this country to help the children. So that is one. Now, Unterhalt is a bit complicated because when you separate, the partner that is absent is supposed to support the children if the other partner is not earning enough. If you are getting social benefits, if you are getting money, maintenance from the government, they will not give you a coin until you have proved that you are not getting money from the absent partner. So this we have to be very, very careful, because even if you don't want to ask for this Unterhalt, the government will force you to ask for it. Because if he or she is not paying, it's the government that is going to end up. And before the government gives 1 cent to this, they will have to make sure that the other partner is paying for this money. So now this brings a lot of problems, and because the absent partner feels like, when they give this money is being used for the children, for the other partner, for the mom or for dad. No, the money is meant for the children. So you are not present. Your children have to eat, drink. They have to be driven around. They have to go for sports. Please participate, even without being forced. Contribute towards the upbringing of the children. It is the children's right. So these are the problem comes in if now the absent partner is having a feeling that the money is going to either the mother or the father and not to the children. We are clearly saying that if you are also this mom or dad doing that, you're not doing it right, because the money is meant to go towards the children's needs. Thank you.
I had to laugh because, I had to laugh because I remember that there was a case like this some years back. And I told you the story of the man who literally put cameras in his home to monitor all this. And of course, he took the children, and they asked the woman who was working to pay the benefit, and this owner heart, and the woman said, I better not work. So she decided to stop working. She was an engineer, decided to stop working. And I've seen that with many men as well, who will decide to stop working because they feel that they are being cheated upon, and that this money is going to the other partner, who is, by the way, the one who caused the separation. And now you're saying that no, we can manage this amicably, because it's not about you or me, it's about the children, and it's about your child, and that you have to take responsibility. Ma'am, use 2 minutes to explain again exactly how this Unterhalt, we want to talk about the allowance that is being given when parents separate, how that is important, when that is being needed, and how we go about it. Because I think this is also a very important area where many people just get mixing up. The partners thinking that the one who is with the kids is just using them for that particular purpose. Please explain to us again in just few words how this happens and why it's so important that it should be a responsibility of any parents to take care of their children.
Actually, the best thing is for the past partner who is absent to just give this money. I don't like using the one to pay Unterhalt, to pay the benefits, because you are not paying. You are giving your children, you are providing. So it's good for the absent partner to provide for the children, whether he or she is present or absent. You don't need to be reminded of this, because they are your children. This is point. And the money is meant for the Unterhalt. The allowance is not for the children alone, but it's maybe the mother, because she has to feed the children, she has to maybe parent, she has to do anything that she's supposed to with this money. I talked of Kindergeld. Kindergeld is something different. It's used only for the children, for them to go swimming, for them to go to film, to watch a film, or for them to have an extra toy, or to have a certain decoration they want in their house, for the small needs. Now, the Unterhalt is really clearly stipulated by law, but it must also not come to this. If you are earning, you can just agree with your partner how much money you want to give to participate in providing for your children's development and growth. So if there is any problem, if you are not able to sort this out yourself, there is always that possibility of going to Jugendamt, which is the youth welfare department, and they can calculate according to your income how much you are supposed to give. Of course, they are going to leave you something substantial for you to pay for your accommodation or for your needs. So you will not be left. But I need to emphasize on this, that your children have priority. So you can't come and say, I have credit. You can't come to say that I owe some people some money. So now I have gotten married. I have new children, so I cannot pay Unterhalt. The government is not going to fancy this. So priority is the children that you have brought into this world first. And most parents lack on this. Now, there is also not only men, we also have women who are earning enough money, and they don't want to pay the other parent who is now a single dad in this case, we need also to say, hey, mummies, these are also our children. We need to rethink, and also to have the awareness that if the other dad is taking care of the children, he cannot work the way he would work when he doesn't have the children. So if you're earning money enough, we want to talk of equality. Why shouldn't we also provide this Unterhalt, this allowance that is needed? So let's not be biased. Let's just be fair. And what you would want it to be done to you, do it to the
Do
other.
unto others. Let's just be fair. Carol Wensky Bear, you're welcome to the conversation. And she's asking the question, parents living in different countries, blah, blah. How does one deal with this kind of crisis, child support and maintenance? Ma'am, what do you say?
So the good news is, if this parent is in an European country, the Unterhalt can be followed up. If he or she does not do it willingly, and you know that this person is working and you have the address of this person, this can be followed up and you can do it. I have seen somebody living in Kenya and still paying these benefits, this child support and maintenance here in Europe, and it goes through the embassy. You know, we are the world is becoming small now because of all this digitalization. So this is not a reason for a dad or a mom who is living in another country not to be supportive of the children. There is a way that we need that this can be worked out. Like I said, the first thing is for you parents to try and work it out amicably without fight. This is better for everyone. And now,
Let's talk on that one, ma'am. How do you mean working out amicably? Because most people just want to go to you get and you get and how do we work this amicably? Tell us, give us step by step what to do and how much. What is amicably first?
Amicably is like, let's say you are still living together. You know the person is earning 2,000 euro. This person can come out and say, if it is one child, you say, I will give 500 euro. So that he or she is left with 1,500 for his own needs. Unless now if he has a new family, new children, then you can come down and say, okay, I will give 300 because I still have to maintain the other children. Willingly, on your own, you must not be followed up by the government. In fact, we look so stupid sometimes if the government has to come up and force you, write letters to you. It's not a good impression, even for your children later, if they come to know that the mommy used to be pushed up to provide for me. So, we need to work on a lot of things, and I say styling up, maturing, being modern, forgetting them being backward and being pushed to.
Hey, ma, what is being modern now? What do you mean by being modern? What is being modern in this thing now?
To think in this century, you brought up a child into this world. If you don't provide for this child, who else is supposed to provide for this child? Here in Europe, we are talking of social benefits. Why do you want to burden the government on your own child that you brought? So let the government be there only for the needy. And if you are working, humbly pay or give your benefit, that you support your family. Give even more than you can. Give even more than you can if possible. Don't go and spend out on other children or other men or other women, and then you start saving and calculating every cent that you give your child. It's not nice.
Yeah. Wow, thank you so very much, ma'am.
I have also a message on the parents who are receiving. They can also be appreciative. They can also encourage the other person. It's not always demanding. Whenever there is a right, there is also an obligation, right? So if we can talk of our rights, let's also know of our obligations too. So our obligation in this case, if you're the receiving, you have to appreciate. I didn't say go down and beg. No, I didn't say this. Appreciate, because through appreciation, you are encouraging the other person, and this person is also being made worth, So this is how you can work it out.
Thank you very much, ma'am. We have just 3 more minutes to go. Please give us a last word to those who just came in, those who are hearing. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining this conversation. We are social workers and, of course, Afro-Social workers. This is your space, it's our space where we have conversations like this to create more awareness in the community, help us grow and improve our lives here in the country. So please share the link, invite your friends, because we are, because you are. Ma'am, we are almost running up. Our conversation today was children need both parents. Tell us more and run up.
I think how I can round up is to say that we are creating awareness with this topic today, that when parents separate, children suffer emotionally, nationally. Now it's upon the parents of both children using the word our child to think of what we can do so that this damage is not much. How do I approach the other partner? How do I how do I portray myself? How do I communicate so that there will be less stress, less wrangles? And also to try and not to talk bad things to the children about the other partner, because the children are neutral. The children love and need both parents. So every time when your child is visiting you, you are talking bad about the mom, or you dad, you're talking bad, or you mom, you're talking bad about the dad. This is misusing this child, and you are damaging this child by you trying to win favor from this child. So let's style up, let's be mature, let's separate. We don't have to kill ourselves living together if the relationship is not working, but let's just be parents to these children. Let's show them that there can be conflict, and that these conflicts can be solved with maturity and how we approach the separation. If you cannot make it alone, get a counseling center, and the counseling center is going to advise you neutrally what is it that you can do so that your children don't suffer. But before even somebody trains you on this, you need to know that there is already a problem, the separation, the child is missing one part, which is very important for their development in school, emotionally, everything. The children in the other partner. Unless this partner is dead or completely not known, there is no other reason that is allowed to deny the person, the other child, the child meeting the other parent. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, my trauma consultant, Batemona-Abeke. It has been always, it was, and it is always a very informative time with you and more awareness. Keep doing the good job you're doing. God bless you. Ladies and gentlemen, we've come again to the end of our conversation. I remember that we are owning also our own YouTube channel, the Sompon Global channel. If you have not yet subscribed, do well to subscribe to the channel, because you are, and we are bringing you every week important conversations, and conversations that can transform your life and make you a better person. Hey, share the link, invite a friend, invite a mother, invite a parent to be the mother that they ought to be, or again, the father that they ought to be. Remember, the children need both parents. So do not withhold this right from our children. We meet again next week, this week, anytime when we have programs. Make sure you always follow us in every of our programs, and be sure to subscribe. God bless you and take good care of yourself. Bye bye.